I think you can do better. There's a lot of people here. Good morning, Sao Paulo. Thank you. And hello to all of our friends around the world watching on YouTube. So thank you all for joining us today. So I'm here to talk to you today about the 21st century learner. In other words, our students, okay? So let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Glenn Mathis, and I'm visiting you from the Cambridge, New York City office, and I am the publisher of Interchange, which all of you have in your bags right now, and also Four Corners and Passages. So just a show of hands, who is teaching with Interchange? Whoa, good. Okay, Four Corners? Any Four Corners? Good. Passages? Good, okay. And many of you are teaching with hopefully other Cambridge courses as well. So thank you for joining today. So let me tell you about what we're going to do here today in my 1 hour. First, I'm going to start with a quiz. Everyone likes taking tests, yes? Really? Yeah, this one is going to be fun, I promise, okay? You'll enjoy this one. Okay, this is a quiz about the 21st century, okay? Then I'm going to tell you a story. Since the theme of Cambridge Days this year is about stories, I have a story to share with you. Then we're going to talk about what is a 21st century learner? What exactly does this mean? And finally, I will give you some exercises that you can use with your students who are 21st century learners. Okay, so everything you're going to see in this presentation today, all the examples are going to come from Interchange 5th edition, again, which all of you have in your bags there. Why Interchange? I'm the publisher of Interchange, so it's what I know, okay? So for those of you who are not using Interchange, it's okay. We're going to look at some exercises that you can use regardless of what course you're teaching with, okay? But every example you will see will be from Interchange 5th edition. Okay, so let's start with our quiz. So I have a picture here. Who can tell me what this is? Selfie, okay. And who takes selfies? Raise your hand. Really? That's all? Okay, yeah, everyone, almost everyone. Okay, who makes faces like this? Yeah, admit it. I've seen your selfies. Okay, good. This is a selfie. And the question I have, your quiz question is, when was the first selfie taken? Wait, I'm going to make it easy for you. Ready? Multiple choice, okay? Multiple choice. Okay, here are your choices. A, the year 2000. What happened in the year 2000 related to selfies? The first phone with a digital camera was released. Okay, first phone with a digital camera. So that's choice A. Choice B, 2007. What happened in 2007? Some of you got it. Yes, the first iPhone was released. Only 8 years ago. Seems longer. Okay, 2007. Or C, 1839. What happened in 1839? I don't know. I was only 2 years old. Okay, so your choices. Who thinks A, 2000? No? Okay. B, 2007. Or C, 1839. Okay, it's such a strange answer, it might just be true, right? Well, let's see. Here's a reading about the birth of the selfie. And what this says is, most of us take selfies now and then. Presidents, rock stars, actors, and sports stars all take them. It's very easy to take selfies on a smartphone, but the selfie isn't really a new idea. Back in 1839, a man named Robert Cornelius took the very first selfie. So, 1839 is the answer. Okay, must have been very difficult back then. He had to set up his camera and then go in front of it. Now it's much easier, right? Okay, so who said 1839? Raise your hand. Okay, a lot of you, good. Now, you're going to want to get the answers correct because I have some prizes for the winners, okay? So, some small prizes I brought for you from New York. Okay, here's the next question. The next question is about the sharing economy. Does anyone know what this means? What is the sharing economy? Somebody said it. Somebody said Uber is an example, right? Uber. Any others that you know? Airbnb, very good. Those two come up first. Those are the biggest ones. Uber, Airbnb. So car share, home share. This is called the sharing economy. So my question is, how much is it worth each year? How much is it worth? Is it worth $20 million? Is it worth $20 billion? Or is it worth $200 billion? Okay, who says 20 million? 20 million. 20 billion? Or 200 billion? Okay, let's see the answer. Okay, this is from a reading about the sharing economy, and the answer is, this is the sharing economy, and it is now a profitable $20 billion a year business. Okay, we're all teachers here. How many of you are making $20 billion a year? Raise your hand. Okay, I want the name of your school. I want to see if they're hiring. Okay, $20 billion a year, so it's a pretty good business, huh? Okay, the next question, also about the sharing economy. How much will it be worth in 2025? So only 8 years from now. Remember earlier we said the iPhone came out in 2007. That was only 8 years ago. 8 years from now, how much is this sharing economy going to be worth? Is it $100 billion? $255 billion? Or $335 billion? Who says $100 billion? Okay, $255 billion? Okay, or $335 billion? Okay, good. The answer is, from the same reading about the sharing economy, some economists think it will be worth $335 billion in 8 years. So that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Okay, who got all three answers correct? Who got all three correct? Okay, good. As I promised, I have a few small prizes for you. So, Sergio, can you help me out? Give one to everyone who got them all right. Okay. Keep your hands up, please, if you got all the answers right. I might not have enough for everybody, so yell loudly. Say, me, me, me. Okay. While Sergio's doing that, I'm going to move on. Okay. So that was a little quiz, like you do with your students when you start the class. You give them some schema, some context. So I wanted to set the stage for the 21st century. So this is not part of the quiz, but this is talking more about things that are popular in the 21st century. I'm not going to do all of these with you, but I'd like to ask you a few questions about inventions and what you think about certain inventions. So I'd like to ask you, how long have these inventions been in Brazil? So let's talk about the internet first. How long has the internet been around? 1990s, I hear? 1995? Oh, very specific, good. Okay, you probably know more about this than I do. 1990s, everyone agree? Yeah? Okay, good. What about GPS? GPS. I hear 2000. Yeah, about 15 years, give or take. Okay, good. So GPS. Okay, what about Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi. How long has Wi-Fi been around? Years? 10 years? Okay, that sounds about right. Yeah, the first time I came to Brazil, about 9 years ago, when I checked into my hotel, they gave me a modem cable. Do you remember? Modem cables, okay? Yeah, there was no Wi-Fi. Now every hotel has Wi-Fi. Okay, good. How was life different before these inventions? How was life different before the internet? Do you remember? No? I heard no. Sometimes it feels like it's been around forever, right? So I have a 9-year-old son, and I've had to explain to him, when I was his age, we had a rotary phone. Do you know what a rotary phone is? You put your finger in and you turned it, and you turned it, and you turned it, and you couldn't take the phone to another room. You had to have a long cable, okay? And sometimes we would walk into the room and someone would be on the phone and we'd run into the cable, okay? So what was life like before the internet? What, slower, I heard. Okay, good. Life was slower, yeah? What did you do differently? Research, yeah. Yeah, you actually had to look in books to find information, right? Using my son as an example again, he will ask me a question, and if I don't know the answer, he says, well, take out your phone. Look it up. We didn't have that luxury, right? Okay, good. So slower. We had to do more work to find information. Good answers. Okay, what about GPS? How was life different before GPS? Maps. Yeah, remember maps? Yeah, okay, we had to use maps. How else did you find your way? Memorize. Good. You had to remember things. Good. Ask for directions. Good. You had to ask someone. You actually had to stop and talk to people. Okay, good. So it was different. What about Wi-Fi? Oh, remember when you had to keep your computer attached to the wall? Okay. So how is life different now with Wi-Fi? Well, we have little computers in our pockets, don't we? Little computers in our pockets. Okay, I'm going to ask you about some of these inventions, and I'd like you to tell me which ones you cannot live without. Okay, ready? Internet. Who cannot live without the internet? Oh, almost everybody. Okay. What about GPS? Well, it's a good number, but yeah, many of you say, I remember maps. I can do it. What about the Wi-Fi? Yeah, a lot of us, right? Okay, so this is the 21st century. The 21st century is about the internet and Wi-Fi, technology changing very quickly, changing our lives very quickly. So I'd like you to look at this picture and tell me what's happening here. Yeah, it's a mother and a child, and the child is using a tablet, right? What can you do with a tablet? What can you do with a tablet or an iPad? Just tell me some answers. Play games, good. Read, what else? Watch movies, watch videos. Read a book. What else? Research, okay, what? Pay bills, good. I always know who has bills to pay when I ask that question and someone says, pay bills. Don't forget, pay your bills when you get home, okay? Pay bills, yes, I pay my bills on the iPad, good. What else? FaceTime. Or Skype, sorry? Take courses, very good, good. You can take online courses. Order food, good. I'm glad you said that. We're going to talk about food a little later, so good. Many, many things. We could sit here for 10 more minutes and name all of the things that we can do on the tablet. But I use this picture because I think of that little boy, and I think when I was his age, I couldn't imagine that I could have my entire library on a screen that I could put in my bag and take with me and use to send messages and watch movies and do all kinds of things. So it's a pretty amazing world we live in the 21st century. Okay, so the theme of this year's Cambridge Days is all about stories. Okay, so I've been asked to share a story with you about my teaching, my students, and so I have a story to tell. I'm no longer a teacher, but I was a teacher. I started as a teacher, and I'm now a publisher. But I want to tell you a story about my students. And this is my story. It's a very happy story that happened on a very sad day. And that day was September 11th, 2001. Now, everyone knows what happened on September 11th, 2001, right? Very, very tragic day, very sad day. But on that day, I was not living in New York City. I was living far from New York City. And we heard about the events that happened in New York and Washington and Pennsylvania, and everyone was very upset. But I worked, and I went home at the end of the day and turned on the TV to see the news, but I also checked my email. And in my email, it just kept coming up, email, email, email. I had more messages than I ever had before on that single day. And most of the messages were from students. They were from students that I had taught, that had finished my classes and moved on. And their messages all said, are you okay? Is everything all right? Did you see what happened? They were really concerned about my well-being and was I okay? And they CC'd other students from their class. Now this is very interesting because probably 75% of those students knew I was not in New York City. And about 40% of them still lived in the same town with me. I saw them on the street. So they knew I was okay. But what was interesting to me is they were using the technology of their day. Remember, there was no Facebook, there was no Twitter, there was no WhatsApp in 2001. So it was only email. They were using email to communicate with me. I thought the classes were over. They were living their lives, I was living mine, but that's not what they thought. They really thought of themselves as part of a global community, and their classmates and me were part of that community with them. So on this very, very sad day, it made me very, very happy that some people in the world were trying to tear people apart, and my students were all coming together to form this connected community using technology and using the language that I taught them. So it was a very, very happy day, and I hope when you teach your classes, you think of your students and your classes as a community, because I'm sure your students do. And when I visit your classes here in Brazil, I just love seeing the communities that you have formed. So those are 21st century learners. And just to summarize, they live in a post-9/11 world. They feel that they are part of a global community, and they use technology and communication to be globally interconnected with their community. So you think of how easy it is now with Facebook and Instagram and all of those things. So these are your students. This is the world that they live in. They don't remember the rotary telephone, right? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about 21st century learners. What is a 21st century learner? Well, a 21st century learner is someone who needs a set of skills called 21st century skills. And these are a set of skills, abilities, and also character traits that are important for success in the 21st century. Why is the 21st century different? Well, we talked about technology. Technology has changed things, but also young workers now switch jobs faster than ever. Any idea what the average is? What is the average for a young worker changing jobs? How many years? 2, 3, 1? Less than a year? Okay. The answer is it's different for every job, right? Technology, people change jobs faster. Engineering, not so much. The average is actually 4.4 years. That's still a pretty short time to work in one place. Okay, so if these workers are changing jobs every 4 years, they need to be flexible in order to adapt to the new workplace environments that they're going into. So they're going to be changing jobs, and they need the skills to adapt to their new environments. Okay? These skills can be summarized by 4 C's. Okay, this makes it easy, right? Easy to remember. The 4 C's, in no particular order, are collaboration, creativity, critical thinking, and communication. And I saved communication for last, the best for last, and I'll explain why. Okay, 21st century skills actually fit into a larger framework. You see the rainbow, those are skills, and you see the ripple, those are ways of teaching. And you can see the 4 C's are right there in the middle of the top of the rainbow. So there's more to it than just the 4 C's, but for our conversation today, I'm only going to talk about the 4 C's, okay? So if you're interested in learning more about 21st century learning, there's much more to it. Okay, so let's start with collaboration. What does collaboration mean? Working together. Yeah, simple, right? It's not a trick question. Working together, okay? So why do we want our students to learn to work together? Well, teachers and employers all state that workers and students perform better at school and on the job if they collaborate, okay? And the other interesting thing is collaboration skills don't just happen. Unless they're taught, people tend to just work by themselves. So we have to teach them. We have to foster those skills. Okay, so what can we do for our students? Well, we can create collaborative moments for the students in order for them to use interpersonal communication, practice their English. Okay, you're already doing this in the classroom, right? Who puts their students in pairs? Who puts them in groups? Who does whole class activities? Okay, you already know this stuff. I can go home. But that's exactly what you're doing. You're fostering collaboration skills. So very good. I'm going to show some examples now, and I'm going to show some examples of print exercises, so things that are in the book, and I'm going to show some example of digital exercises as well. So because we live in the 21st century, we want to look at both of these, print and digital. So let's start with the print. And again, all the examples I'm going to show you are from Interchange 5th edition, but you think of how you can use these skills regardless of what course you're using. So what is this here? What is this? Menu. Yes, it's a menu, okay? So for this activity, we're going to have students work in pairs. One student is going to be the customer. One student is going to be the server. The customer is going to order off of this menu, and the server is going to take the order. So it requires the students to work together to accomplish the task. A very useful task if you're going to go to an English-speaking country. So someone earlier said order food. Well, we're going to start talking about food now, okay? Okay, so that's one example. Here's another example. This is an example about talking about your community, talking about your town, okay? So first, the students are going to work together in pairs, and they're going to talk about what is in their town, what is not in their town. And that's good, right? Working in pairs. You can get a lot of information from another student. But even better, after they work in pairs, we'll then put them in groups to then talk more about what's in their community. Okay, again, the theme of community comes up here. So working together with 4 people, you're going to learn a lot more than just working with one other person. Okay, so that's another example of collaboration, this time pair and group. Okay, now we're going to look at a digital example, and I need to give a little introduction to this because this is something I don't think any of you know about yet, and that's because it is brand new. And that's the Interchange Classroom app. So, question for you, who uses cell phones in the classroom? Anyone? Oh, good, a large number. Okay, good, good. So this is a new app for Interchange 5th edition that allows you to send extra exercises to the student's phone, using your phone, and the students can send them back to you or use them to talk in English. So the idea is to build communication, give them more exercises for talking, okay? Those of you who raised your hand and said you're using an app, and what apps are you, or excuse me, you're using your phones, what apps are you using? Sorry, Apple? Kahoot, yep, that's the most popular one I hear, Kahoot. Everyone know Kahoot? Yeah, it's a polling app. So you write a question for the students, you send it to them, and they respond. Okay, so that way you can collect all the information. So you can ask the student, who's your favorite actor, what's your favorite restaurant, and then get that information from the students. Any others? Google Docs, good, okay. Good, good. Okay, what else? Okay, Socrative, yep, good. Vocaroo, good, okay, for voice recording. Okay, so there's lots of apps out there. And if you're not using Interchange, that's okay. There are lots of apps that do things like the Interchange app. But again, because I'm the publisher of Interchange and I know it, I'm going to show this as an example. Okay, so let's look at, okay, this is an example activity, and this is about shopping. Who likes shopping? Anyone? I don't like shopping. I don't. I'm not much for shopping. I like Amazon. You press a button and done. Okay, so I'm going to be leaving Brazil soon, and I haven't done any shopping for myself. So I'd like your help with this activity. I would like you to tell me what I should buy here in Brazil, okay? So I'm going to ask you about some items in the pictures, and I would like you to collaborate with your partner, so talk with somebody next to you, and tell me, are these things cheap? Are they reasonable? Or are they expensive? Okay, so let's start with the first one. What are these? Headphones. Okay, good. With your partner, with someone next to you, discuss. Is it cheap, reasonable, or expensive? Okay, that didn't require much discussion, right? Everyone just said, expensive. Okay, who says cheap? Yeah, 1 or 2 people. Okay. Reasonable? Expensive? Okay, I think they're pretty expensive. Okay, I'm not buying headphones. All right, that's it. I'm not buying headphones. What about these? What are these? T-shirts, yeah. With your partner, cheap, reasonable, or expensive? Okay, who says cheap? Okay, good. Reasonable? Okay, good. Expensive? Okay, not very many. I think most of you say reasonable. Okay, maybe I'll buy a t-shirt. Okay, what are these? This doesn't require much collaboration, right? Cheap? Reasonable? Expensive? Yes. Okay, and almost anywhere in the world you go, phones will be expensive, okay? No? Not like here. Okay, you're right. They are very expensive here. Good point. Okay, so good. So that was, one more. So one more set of items here. What are these? Sneakers, shoes, cheap? No? Reasonable? Expensive? Okay, so it looks like the only thing I'm buying from Brazil is a t-shirt. Yeah? Okay, all right. Good. Expensive here. Okay, all right, I'll remember that. Okay, good. So what did we just do there? You worked with your partner to give me advice of what I should buy based on the prices that you know in Brazil. If I do this activity in another country, they might say some things are cheap, reasonable, expensive, different than what you said. But you were telling me about what you know, what's personal to you. So thank you very much for that. Okay, so that was the first C. I'd like to then go into the second C, which is creativity. Creativity is kind of difficult to define, yes? Actually, according to 21st century learning, it's carefully defined as when an individual or a group produces a product that is both novel and useful. So when you create something that is new and useful. So let's think about some examples. What about the iPhone? Was that new and useful in 2007? Yeah, and actually it didn't do anything new if you think about it. We had phones, we had email, we had cameras, but they put it all together into one device. So that's a good example of something that's new and useful. So when your students create something that's new and useful, that is exercising creativity. And when we say product, we're not necessarily talking about something they sell. We're talking about something that they make or they create. Okay, so how do we help students with creativity? We offer them opportunities to display their creativity. And I'm going to show you some examples of how to do that. Okay. Whoop, come back. Okay, what does this look like here? What is this? Sorry? Review? Okay, good. Usually the first thing people say is hamburger. The first thing everyone sees is the hamburger, right? Okay, yeah, it's a hamburger. It is a food review, okay? It's a food review, and you see the person's avatar there. Okay, so how many of you read reviews online about restaurants or Amazon or anything? Yeah, a lot of you. How many of you write reviews? Good, good. A good number of people. Okay, so this is practice for the students to write a review about somewhere they ate. And that can be a restaurant, a cafe, a food truck, a food cart, anywhere that they ate. So we give them questions to help them write their review. And then the students will write their review about where they went to eat, and they will then share that review with other students working in a group. So why is this creative? Well, remember our definition. It has to be new and useful. Every student will write a different review, right? They all went to different restaurants. Every student will write a different review, so it will be new. They will share those reviews, which makes them useful. So this is a good way to be creative, is to practice writing a review of something you've done. Okay, in this case, somewhere we've eaten. Okay, do you notice, remember someone earlier said order food from the tablet? We have a lot of examples of food. I like food, so I apologize if I'm making you hungry, but lunch is after, okay? So hang in there. Okay, so we're going to do an activity, and it's about food. Okay, this is a cooking show. How many of you watch cooking shows on TV? Oh, a lot of you. Okay, so this will seem very familiar to you, those of you who watch cooking shows. Okay, you're going to work in groups of 4. I'm going to ask you to work in groups of 4. Okay, so any 4 people around you. 2 of you will be the judges of the cooking show. Okay, 2 of you are judges. The other 2 will be the chefs. Okay, so 2 judges, 2 chefs. Now, judges, you will think of 3 ingredients that the chefs must use, okay? And those ingredients can be meat, they can be seafood, they could be a vegetable, a spice, a grain, a dairy product, anything you want, okay? 3 ingredients. Chefs, you can add any ingredients you want to those 3 ingredients, but you have to use the 3 ingredients, okay? And you have to tell the judge what you're going to make using those 3 ingredients and anything else. Judges, you decide the winner. Which of the 2 chefs has the best recipe? Okay, and I want to hear some of these recipes, so I'm going to come around in a few minutes and have you tell me the winning recipes. Okay, everyone ready? Yeah? Okay, groups of 4, 2 judges, 2 chefs, 3 ingredients, 1 winner.
Can you say at some point when you are prepared to be available? Because I know it's something I ask about.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. One minute. 1 minute. Thirty seconds. 30 seconds. Okay, and stop. I can't get you to stop talking, huh? Okay, good, good. Okay, I want to hear some of the winning recipes. So, who wants to volunteer? Who has a winning recipe? No volunteers? Oh, I have one. Okay, so I'm coming down. Okay, please tell me your 3 ingredients and the recipe.
Okay, so I have shrimps, milk, and broccoli. Yeah.
And what did you make?
I made a pasta with the milk and the broccoli, and the shrimps and the fish fillet. And I won.
That sounds delicious. Very good, very good. Okay, who else wants to share a recipe? Okay, who is the winner here? Yeah. Okay, so tell us your 3 ingredients and what did you make?
She said beef, paprika, and cream. And then I thought of stroganoff. Then I added onions, garlic, and a little bit of mustard and ketchup.
That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Okay, one more. Okay, we have one over here. Okay, again, 3 ingredients, and what did you make? Oh, okay.
It's a delicious pasta, and then you fry garlic, asparagus, and just cover it with something so special. You sprinkle some granola on it, and it's a crunchy pasta.
Very interesting, very interesting. Okay, I'm noticing a theme here with pasta. Okay, let's see, we have one more. So can you pass the mic down to the end?
Well, it's pretty much similar. We thought about pasta and crunchy. So she said, she was the judge, and she said lemon, yogurt, and chicken. So we thought on chopped crunch chicken and organic pasta covered with a sauce based on lemon and yogurt.
Thank you. Wow, that was great. Okay, so I noticed a theme here. Do you like pasta by any chance? Yeah? Okay. It's also easy to make, right? So, very good. Okay, so that was great. That was great. You were using your creativity. You were only given 3 ingredients, some of them very difficult to make things with, but you came up with wonderful, delicious pasta recipes, which making me very, very hungry. Okay, so that's an activity you can do with your students anytime you're doing a food unit. Okay, you can have your students do this activity. And here's the activity actually in print. As you can see, the students work in a group, and it's the same activity. 4 people, 2 judges, 2 chefs, 3 ingredients, and the judges decide the winner. Okay, so that's a fun activity. Do it before lunch. Okay. Here is an activity from the app, and I'm not going to do this activity, I'll just kind of show you the activity. But in this activity, the students are going to practice past tenses, specifically the past perfect, but also they can use past continuous and simple past. So we're going to show students a picture, and we're going to ask them to tell a story. Pictures tell 1,000 words, right? So we'd like students to try to tell a story using this picture. So what happened to this woman in the picture? She got a ticket, yeah. So the example that we can give here was she was having dinner with a friend, and she had parked her car in front of the restaurant. Then she got a ticket, and then the students can then talk about how did she feel? Was she angry? Did she tear up the ticket? What did she do? Okay. So here's another picture. What's happening here? Uh-oh. An accident, right? An accident is going to happen. I would not want to be the person on the bicycle in 10 seconds, right? Okay, so students would tell a story about what happened here in the past, okay? Well, how did the accident happen? Okay, so that's a digital example of how you can practice creativity. Give students images and let them create stories from the images. Okay, the third C is critical thinking. And if we thought creativity was difficult to define, the definition of critical thinking has changed many, many times in the last 100 years. Okay, so many of the definitions have hierarchies and dimensions and many levels, but I picked a simple definition for you just so we can make it easy to discuss. And simply put, critical thinking is rationally deciding what to do or believe. So in other words, critical thinking means not just listening to someone telling you to do something, but thinking about what you're doing before you do it. Okay, so critical thinking is thinking about what you're doing. Okay, so let's look at some examples of how we can practice this in the classroom with students. Looking at this picture here, I know you can't see all of the text, and that's okay, but what's happening in the picture? What is that? Job interview, good, okay. How many people have actually gone to job interviews where you sat in a row like this? Anyone? A couple of you have, right? Okay, usually you don't, but it's a good picture. Everyone understands that's a job interview situation. So in this activity, the students are given job descriptions, and they are going to interview their classmates to determine which classmate is good for which job. Okay, so they're using their critical thinking skills to decide who would be best for this job. Okay, so that's an example when talking about work. Here is an example talking about community again. We're talking about our cities and our towns. And this is a listening activity where a student listens to someone talking about problems in their city. Every city has problems, and so this person is telling about her problems. And then after they do the listening activity, they're then going to talk about what things a city can do to improve the problems that they heard. Okay, so they're actually going to think about solving those problems, and then talk about whether their cities have similar problems. Okay, so identifying problems and helping to solve them. Okay, let's look at a digital example. In this example, again, we have pictures that are going to prompt the students, and in this case, we have pictures of people with problems. Okay, so I'd like you to tell me what the problem is, and then I'm going to ask for your help giving advice. Okay, so what's the problem in this picture? He's lost. Okay, very good, very good. He's lost. Extra credit, where is he? London, exactly. You see the bridge? That's London. Okay, good. Well, what can we suggest he does? Sorry? Buy GPS, good, yep. Exactly. Use Google Maps, good. He's using a paper map, is that helping him? No, obviously not, okay. Maybe he has the wrong city, I don't know. Okay, what else can he do? Ask. Remember before the internet, we talked to people? Yeah, okay. So what else could he do? You could ask for help. You could ask a policeman. Okay, so many, many things he can do. Good. Okay, what is this gentleman's problem? Car broke down, right? His car broke down. Good. Okay, what can we do to help him? Call the insurance company. Okay, what else? What would you do? Call the insurance. Okay, good. Call my father. Okay, good, good. Yeah, good. Okay, call your father, call a parent, call a friend. Could you maybe stop another car? Okay. The best answer I've heard for this picture is, I would let the dog drive. You see the dog? And my answer to that is, maybe that's why the car broke down. Maybe he let the dog drive. Okay, so there's some funny things happening there as well. Okay, what is happening to this woman? Yeah, she has a lot of things to carry. What advice can you give her? Take it easy, okay, good. What else? Good, so you see the cell phone. I was hoping you would see that. You probably can't see it in the picture, but she is on her phone. You can tell by her head. Okay, she's on her phone, so maybe turn off the phone. Okay, put some things down. Okay, get an assistant. Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. Okay, and one more. What's happening here? I know. When I show this picture, everyone is shocked. It's dangerous and it's illegal, right? Yes. Nobody should do this. What is she doing? Texting and driving, or you can say driving and texting. You can change the order, it's fine. Should she be doing those two things together? No, definitely not. Illegal and dangerous. So what are we going to tell her? Stop the car? Or turn off the phone? Good. And there's many other answers you could give her of solutions for that, but definitely something she shouldn't be doing. Okay, very good, very good. So you see how the pictures can get you to see a problem and to think of the best way to solve it. Okay, we're now going to look at the last of the 4 C's. I saved this one for last because it's communication, and it's what you do in your classrooms every day. You get your students to communicate in English, okay? So we're going to talk about how to help students with communication. And first, we're going to give a definition of communication. What is communication? Well, basically, it's the ability to pass along or give information. So giving information is communication, okay? What we want to do is focus both on interpersonal communication, so communication between students, or you and students, and computer-mediated communication when we can. So why did we talk about the technology and the 21st century learner? Well, they always have their phones with them. They always have their technology. So helping them to use the technology to communicate is going to help them a lot. Okay, let's look at an example. So what is this? Carnival, right? You are not at all interested in this subject, right? No, this is boring to Brazilians, right? No. Okay, so hopefully an activity like this will be very interesting for your students. What we're going to do is we're going to look at a series of activities, okay, a series of exercises in a row, all practicing different skills, but all using communication. So in this, we have an audio exercise about someone who went to Carnival, and we asked them, the students, to then work together in a pair to think of another famous celebration that is similar to Carnival. So do we have any holidays here in Brazil that are similar? Yeah? Okay, thank you. Yeah? Sorry? Okay, good, good. You don't have that, yeah. That's very specific. Good. Okay, so the students are going to think of famous celebrations that are similar, and they're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk a little more about holidays. And can you tell what holiday this is? 4th of July. What's another name for 4th of July? Independence Day, yes. This is the U.S. Independence Day. Good. So you see the red, white, and blue, and the funny hats. And so in this, the students are going to talk about their 3 favorite holidays and tell their partner why they like each one. So then they're going to take a class vote and figure out what the class's favorite holiday is. So what are your favorite holidays? Shout some out. Easter, Christmas, I hear again. New Year's. Valentine's Day. Okay, good, good. Okay. Somebody has a very attentive boyfriend or husband there. Okay, good. Valentine's Day. Okay, Christmas. Whose favorite is Christmas? Easter? New Year's? Oh, a lot. Okay. Valentine's Day? Okay. A couple people. Good, good. Okay, it looks like New Year's and Christmas are favorite holidays here, so great, good. Okay, this is the next activity. This is a writing activity, and this is about writing about a holiday for a travel website. Do any of you look at reviews on travel websites? Yeah? Okay, good. Like, what websites? What do you use? TripAdvisor? Okay, and there's a lot of them out there. So the students are going to practice writing. Writing is communication, but in addition to writing, we're going to have the students then read each other's travel website entries and make suggestions, what's good or what could be better. So we have them communicating by writing and communicating by speaking. So lots of communication happening in this activity. Okay, this is a different activity. This is not in the sequence, but I'm just going to ask you really quickly. In this activity, we are talking about wishes. What do we wish for, okay? And the students are going to work together to help someone make their wish come true. So, does anyone have a wish that they want to mention? Nothing serious, something not too serious, okay? Any wishes? How about, okay, we have one. I wish I win the raffle today. Okay, good, good. I can't help you with that, so that's one that you're just going to have to rely on luck. Okay, but you see the example there. Someone gives a wish and we would give advice. So what advice would we give her for winning the raffle? Enter, right? Fill out her card, right? Okay, so that's the advice we can give for that one. Good. Okay, so again, communication, helping someone realize their dreams. Okay, I'd like to show you a digital example. And in this example, we are practicing declining invitations. Okay, why declining invitations? Well, accepting invitations is very easy, right? Who would like to have lunch with me? Yeah? Okay. So I will ask you, would you like to have lunch with me? And what do you say? Sure. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Great. Very easy, right? Now, what if I say, do you want to have lunch with me, and you don't? What do you say? Good. You're actually giving me an explanation. You have to say more than just no, right? Because if you say no, do you want to have lunch with me? No. I'm going to be very sad, right? So you have to give an explanation of why. Why are you saying no? So we're going to help the students practice saying no with an excuse. Okay, so I'm going to invite you to some activities, and I would like you to say no, okay? And give me a reason. Okay, would you like to go to my friend's birthday party with me? No, no. Why not? I have to study. Very good excuse. Good. I have other plans. Good. What else? I have to work early. Good. Okay. Good. So many excuses you can give. Good. Okay, let's look at the next one. What's happening here? A wedding. Would you like to go to my friend's wedding with me? No. Why not? Got to work? Okay. Why? Sorry? I'm traveling. Okay, good. Okay, the best answer I heard for this is because that's my ex-boyfriend. So, ooh, yeah. Okay, so to summarize here, what have we talked about today? We've talked about the 21st century learners. We've talked about where our students live, and that is in the 21st century. And I like this definition, and I saved it for last because I think it's a good definition of 21st century learners. Why do we want to teach them these skills? Because 21st century learners are more engaged in the learning process, and they're better prepared to thrive in today's digitally and globally interconnected world. Okay, so that's from the Partnership for 21st Century Learning. They have a website. You can find more information about that. Okay, so we're running out of time here, so I'm going to give you my email address for questions. But basically what I'd like to summarize is good luck. Good luck helping your students be successful 21st century learners and in their academic lives and in their careers. So this is my email here. You can email me any questions you have. And I just want to finish up by just mentioning better learning, which you'll hear many times today. And the reason is because we rely on deeper insights. And the deeper insights, as we will talk about, come from research, but they also come from you. The deeper insights come from what you learn in your classroom and what you tell us. Okay, so I encourage you to please give us your deeper insights so that we can create for you richer content, which for your students will bring stronger results. Okay, so before I finish, I just want to mention, because Sergio told me that a few people were asking this question, I introduced the Interchange Classroom app, but I neglected to tell you when it's going to be available and how much it costs. So the app is scheduled to be in the Apple and Android stores on August 31st. Okay, so the end of next month, August 31st, Apple and Android devices. And how much do you think you should pay for it? Nothing. Nothing. Okay, you got me. Yes, nothing. Okay, it is free. It is free. Okay, so yeah. That's really the best price, isn't it? Okay, we're talking about cheap, reasonable, or expensive. That's super cheap. Okay, so the app will be free and will be available in Apple and Android stores at the end of next month. So those of you who are using Interchange, I encourage you to try the app with your students and tell us what you think. Thank you very much. It is now lunchtime. Lunch downstairs. So now that I've made you very hungry with lots of food activities, please go and enjoy lunch. Thank you.